Breakups are often the symptom of problems in a relationship. My workbook series, The Knowledge, is focused on helping you change your life in 4 key areas: retaining the information that I teach, personal growth, improving your relationships, and of course, re-attracting your ex. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about, did he feel rejected? Okay, so one of the challenges of being in a relationship is understanding how our partner feels. Because a lot of times we can be really self-absorbed and focused on what we need, what we want, our desires, our expectations, and the things that our partner does to let us down. And unless you are really emotionally healthy, it can be a real struggle to even consider what your partner's needs are. And so you have to have a balance in a relationship where you're considering what your partner needs and you're considering what you need. Now, what happens is that we're constantly having to do give and takes in a relationship. But if you're not giving and you're only taking, it can make your partner just feel like, you don't really care about them. And that leads to a lot of problems. I can tell you, a relationship is like this own living entity where it takes both people to keep it going and growing, and it can be, unfortunately, rather easy to sever it and to destroy it and lose trust and then just have the whole thing come unglued and fall apart. It's something that constantly needs to be maintained. And so even if you're unknowingly rejecting your partner or ignoring them or doing something that's hurting them for a few days, it can be enough where they say, you know what, this just isn't working for me anymore. I know it seems like a shock that somebody could walk away from a situation that quickly, but it just depends on what the relationship is like, how healthy it is, how much they're getting, what their expectations are, a lot of things. Now, especially in the beginning of a relationship where you guys don't know each other that well, behavior's going to be magnified more, right? Like, because you're not really attached and all you know is what they do for this short amount of time. So if it's in the early stages and they're being disappointed or maybe the relationship's not going the way they want, they're going to be more quick to walk away from that situation than if you've got a long time together. So I've got 2 emails today. One was a really nice email, and the second one is going to be talking about feeling ignored and rejected, okay? So this first one was just so kind and sincere, I decided to share it. They said, "Coach Craig, you have done it again." I didn't do it. Unless it was good, I didn't do it. "Your videos have been light years ahead of all the other coaches, who, by the way, are trying to rip off your ideas now." Well, look, I don't know what other people are doing out there. Margaret and I are just focused on our own lane and doing what we're doing. And yes, I do hear people complain to me all the time that different people are trying to steal our ideas or do this or do that. I'm sure, that happens, but you can't worry about that. We just focus on what we do over here, and you guys just focus on what we teach, and you'll be just fine. I have been watching your videos for about 4 months now. I want to start off by telling you I am extremely skeptical. Alright, extremely skeptical. So what does that tell you? He doesn't trust people. I think I'm an avoidant. There you have it. Never would have known it if it wasn't for you. After scrutinizing all the breakup stuff around, you come out on top every time. The information you give out is some of the best psychology I've ever heard. It's easy to understand and it's relatable. you and Margaret are definitely some of the best therapists in the world. Well, I would say Margaret is for sure. I would say I may be one of the best dating coaches in the world, but I'll leave Margaret to the best title of best therapist, because her level of insight and understanding is off the charts, people. I'm telling you, if you do a Skype with Margaret, you're going to see it right away. She knows like 5 steps ahead of everybody, and I still just absorb everything that I can from her like a sponge, because her level of understanding is just, I've never seen it in any other therapist. I mean, I just love learning from her too. You know, I'm always trying to better myself too. So thank you so much for the kind words. But I'm always looking to get better and always trying to improve. After watching your videos for a while, I honestly say I love you. And Margaret. I have probably seen over 150 videos so far. I reluctantly purchased the workbooks. I actually bought the set. I absolutely love them. I have to say, they really do challenge me and force me to grow. I have no doubt in my mind that I am a better man because of them already, and it's only been a little over a week. I cannot tell you how good it feels to hear such positive things about the workbooks. Guys, the work that it took me to do this, I had to hire somebody full-time to help me design these things, work through them. It was a tremendous project because, as you know, I have 500 videos, and you know, doing the workbook meant, well, let's try this video. No, that doesn't work. So we'd have to take a lot of videos and spend all that time investing in the video before saying, you know what, we'll use this for something later, or we're not going to use this one for this set. It just doesn't fit for what we're doing. So it was an enormous task. And so I love the feedback. As a matter of fact, I have an email at the back of the workbooks to send your feedback to, because if you guys have ideas or areas that you think we can improve upon them, I'm going to consider them for future workbooks, or even if I ever need to revise these, because I want to put out the best information for you guys. I would never put out anything for you guys that I didn't stand behind, just like the videos that I put out there every day. I just wouldn't do it. That's not the way I operate. I put out a product that I absolutely believe is going to help you change your life and become a much better, well-rounded person in your relationship and your understanding of mental health, retaining the information that I teach, and ideally getting in front of your ex and exhibiting behaviors that are going to help you change and show them that you've really changed long term. Because when I was considering doing the book, and that's a project for the future, one of the things that I really considered is the retention of information. Because when I did some research on it, not many people will retain information through reading a book. It kind of goes away. So these workbooks actually cause you to use a different part of your brain because of the way you're having to do it, right? It's not just reading something. When you have to write things down and think about them critically, it causes you to use other parts of your brain. Now, ideally, it would be best if you could learn to teach your friends and family about some of the things that I teach, because when you can teach it, it helps you understand it better. But if you do the workbooks, you're going to see that your level of retention is going to improve significantly, and you can go back and actually change your answers in the PDF, which is absolutely one of my favorite features about it. You can even type on the PDF on your phone. You can, I didn't know you could even do this option. You can literally type your answers onto the phone PDF, which when I figured out that was an option, I actually delayed the project for months to incorporate that feature. So, thank you very much for the kind words about the workbooks, and I really do want to hear it. So send it to me in either my email here or in the back of the workbook. There's an email, okay? I'm sorry, let me go on. I get a little distracted here. Honestly, I don't mean to talk crap, but your competition is charging $1,000 for a breakup class. I don't know who that is. I know that there is someone out there that has like products that are in like the $500 or $600 range. I don't know of anybody who's doing anything like $1,000 breakup course or anything about that. So, look, you know, if that's what they think that it's worth, or they, whatever, I don't know. They said, F that garbage. I'd pay that if it was a Coach Craig and Margaret class. Actually, one of the things that Margaret and I have considered and have kept in the back of our minds is doing some kind of courses, different courses with videos and workbooks and things like that, worksheets. And we have a few in mind that we have considered, but again, it's such a huge project. We'll have to narrow it down and talk about it. But yeah, I could see us doing a course like that. And no, we're not going to charge $1,000. $998. Of course, I'm kidding. Thank you again. I know you get a ton of emails, so I understand if you don't share. It's time to get back to work. I will be booking a Skyping with you in the fall when my business picks up. Evan. Well, thank you, Evan. Thank you so much for the kind words and the support that you've given us. And it's always so great to hear you guys say positive things for us. We do appreciate the positive feedback. And, you know, there can be a lot of negativity out there and on the internet and everything like that. But, you know, we just push forward and we do the best that we can to help you grow, help you change. And if you need us, we're here. If you just want to watch videos, you could do that. If you want to get the workbooks and Skype with us, Margaret and I are both here for your support. Obviously, the demand for us is extreme, as you can imagine, but we're doing our best to help as many people as we can. I got a second email here that I think you guys are really going to find helpful, and I've got 3 questions at the end of this email that are really, really critical to consider in your relationship, okay? So this is from a woman in her late 20s that was dating a guy in his early 20s for about 6 months. She said he had a very good upbringing and that the parents are still together and she actually got along with them well. Now, what she said is he thinks we ultimately want different things at the moment and that we are at different stages of our lives. Now, she doesn't believe this is the true situation, and well, let's get into what's going on here. I think this is interesting. So, she said the way that she handled the breakup is that I text him back and forth a few times, explaining that I'm not ready for marriage and kids, and although I'm older, it doesn't mean I'm at a different stage. I'm happy as I am, and he spent the last few months saying how happy he was that we were on the same page. I said I was very upset and hurt and didn't think he was the person he made out to be. I wasn't rude, but I was clearly upset. He would not accept what I was saying, so I did not reply to his last message, and we've had no contact for over a week. Okay, so he said that they're at different stages in their lives, and that he never wants to get married or have children, and assumed I do, and therefore ended it. However, she believes it's an excuse, as he knew she didn't want marriage or kids. Okay? So, she goes on to say, I met Herman on Tinder. We're just going to call him Herman, right? I'm in my late 20s, he's in my early 20s. The age gap wasn't an issue. Well, it might have been. Okay, you're saying it's not an issue. In your mind, you've convinced yourself, but he's also telling you that it is an issue. He's saying he thinks that you're going to want to get married and have kids, and maybe it's an excuse, but maybe there's some truth to it. Okay? Everything was good, and we were incredibly happy. We had a great few months. One day, I felt a bit low. I just didn't want to talk to anyone. So, for 3 days, I basically ignored him. Okay, this is a problem. Okay? I don't know what to extent she ignored him. She doesn't get into details. But if this guy is upset, he's worried, you're not answering, you're just ignoring him, he's going to get angry, he's going to lose his patience, and there's a good chance he's hurt. He is literally hurt over what you're doing to him. When we're ignored by our partners, it literally causes us physical pain. So, she goes on to say, I was quite blunt with Herman. After 3 days, I wanted to speak to him, but he did the exact same thing to me. He was blunt, took hours to reply to me. When I asked him, he said he was too busy. So I think you ignored him because you didn't want to talk to him. Now, I don't think you were handling this like an adult. Okay? I think that there was some real like anger and resentment in the way you wrote this out that made it seem like, I don't want to be bothered by you, so I'm going to ignore you. Well, now what happened? He did the same thing to you. And now you know how it feels. It hurts. And he's punishing you, right? Just what you did to him. I thought at first he was just playing a game. A game? I don't think that's a game. I don't know if people are playing a game here. I think he's punishing you, but I wouldn't consider that a game. I text him asking him what's going on. He said he was going out and would text me the next day. The next day he texted me saying that he thinks we ultimately want different things and are at different stages of our lives. Okay, so now when you look at it and you piece it together, you see that it's probably not so much about that reason as it is saying, you know what? I don't like the way you ignored me. I don't like the way you just pushed me aside. It made me mad, and now I don't want to be with you, and here's my excuse why. I think that's what happened here. He specifically said, you want marriage and kids, and I just want to join the army. This was a shock to me as I had never said I wanted that. See? He's putting words in her mouth. She never even said that she wanted kids, right? Or marriage. I explained that wasn't the case. When I put across all my points, he said, you have made a valid point, but I can't go back on what I have said. Think about that, guys. So at that point he's saying, you're right, you never said that, but I can't go back on what he said. But see, he's not really being honest and forthcoming here either. What he probably really wants to say is, you know what? You ignored me, I didn't like it, and so I don't want to date you anymore. That's probably what he was thinking or feeling. Instead, he gives her an excuse. I can't go back on what I said. That is the most ridiculous reason ever. I guarantee he could go back on what he said if he really wanted to. It's just that he doesn't want to. He was quite cold during the conversation and even said, I didn't realize you felt this strongly about me. See, he's saying, I didn't even realize you cared about me because you were ignoring me for 3 days. This is coming from him who told me many times that he loved me. But did you tell him very many times that you loved him? I didn't believe his reason. I felt it was an excuse. I agree. When he said, I can't go back on what I have said, it was weird, as what I should have said was reassure him if it was truly the issue and what it was about. I looked at his Instagram during our relationship. He didn't follow any other girls and none followed him. Now, around 3 girls were following him and he was following back. He's looking for other options because he didn't like the way you treated him. I know that might seem normal, but his account is on private and he does not have a profile photo. It's blank because of him joining the army. So if you came across it, you would not follow it because it's private with no photo. This leads me to believe he was back on Tinder where he would have matched with other girls or these girls. Oh, wants to know, was he on Tinder when I started to ignore him? Well, that's impossible to know, but it seems like the relationship only started having problems after you started ignoring him. So I would say he probably started to go back on dating websites after he broke up with you. Did he feel rejected, so he went looking for some attention? Probably. I would say that's probably what happened. He then needed a reason to finish with me because he may have felt guilty, or maybe he really liked a girl, so he comes up with an excuse that truly isn't an issue. Well, you guys didn't seem to be having any problems, that at least you told me about, until you started ignoring him. So, if the relationship was good, and then he, got ignored, and then he started looking at other women, that makes the most sense to me. I have not spoken to him since, and did not reply to his last text. He has not tried to speak to me. He still has me as a friend on Instagram and Snapchat, and he opens up my snaps, but we have not had any direct contact. I'm confused about why it ended. Well, I think that he probably wasn't happy with your behavior and ignoring him. Now, I don't know the whole relationship because he didn't really get into those details, and we didn't do like a Skype or anything for us to talk about it, but my guess is that if you did this, there were probably a lot of other things that you did in the relationship, and this was probably the straw that broke the camel's back. If it was because he was speaking to another girl, is that just a phase? Well, it could be. I mean, you guys dated for 6 months, and yeah, he could be looking at other options, but, certainly that doesn't mean he couldn't change his mind and reach out to you again. I thought he would have reached out to me. He is the type of person who doesn't like going back on decisions he has made, which scares me, as I don't think he will reach out even if he wants to. Oh, believe me, I hear that fear a lot. If somebody wants to, they'll come up with a reason to do it. Believe me. Believe me, their pride will not get in the way, no matter how stubborn you think they are. Is he waiting for me to speak to him, or will eventually he miss me? Well, I think he's probably really angry and upset at you right now because you ignored him, and I think you probably need to take a real close look at your relationship and how you acted during the whole relationship. Were you selfish? Were you self-absorbed? Was everything about you and what you wanted, right? You didn't feel like talking, so you just ignored him. That isn't how you maintain a connection or a relationship. And you got to take a real hard look at yourself in your relationships, because if you don't make these changes, no contact isn't going to do you any good, okay? No contact is simply a method of how you handle a part of the breakup, right? But many of you think that it's the answer. It's not. And for me, I think it's probably, as challenging as no contact is, the real work is the other stuff that you do besides it, which is exactly why I created workbooks, right? I've been telling you for 2 years you got to do the work, and I finally did the work of coming up with these workbooks for you guys. But now you have to do the work and do it. Okay? There's only so much I can do from this end, guys. You have to work on this breakup more than I do. You have to work on your breakup more than me. Okay? If I'm doing all the hard work, you're not going to get your ex back. That's just not the way it works. All the things that I teach you guys and I preach to you guys, I've done myself. Okay? And I've said this from day one. I was going about Margaret well before you'd ever seen her in any video, right? And told you the story about Margaret, and going to her twice a week during my breakups because of how difficult they were. And, trying to figure out breakups and everything over the years. I've made that clear from you since probably, I don't know, one of the first videos that I have out there. But, guys, you gotta work on yourself. If you don't, the chances of reattracting somebody and showing them that you've truly made changes is slim. It's not easy to do, but it's worth it. Because, bottom line, even if you don't get your ex back, the work is going to pay off for somebody, whoever you're dating, right? If it's not them, it's somebody else. So either way, you're going to win in the situation. So ignoring somebody is absolutely one of the worst things you can do. Okay? It causes us physical pain. It terrifies us on a biological level where we go into primal panic, right? And are meant to be connected. Our relationships are meant to constantly evolve and grow. And, you know, when you feel that disconnection from somebody, it's going to set off this alarm system, and it's very, very difficult to turn it off. Almost impossible. And even if you can't necessarily turn it off, you can know how to manage it, right? Okay? And that's part of the struggle of having separation anxiety, is not being able to manage it. So, emotional responsiveness is absolutely critical to maintaining a connection. Okay? So if you're ignoring somebody, you're disconnecting them, and there's no emotional responsiveness. They feel like they're alone, and they feel like they're going to die without you. Okay? So you have to have emotional responsiveness to have a healthy relationship. Okay? And so here are 3 questions that you have to consider always with your partner. Okay? Are you there for me? Your partner is always going to be evaluating, are you there for me? You need to take a good, long, hard look in the mirror and say to yourself, have I really been there for them? Okay, when they came home from a bad day at work, were you there for them? Did you ignore them? Did you blow them off? If they had a problem, did you listen? Or did you just tell them what you think they should do? They need to know that you are there for them. Emotional responsiveness. Okay. Another question you want to ask yourself, or that they are going to be asking. Do I and my feelings matter to you? Okay, this is really important. You want your partner to look at your relationship, and when they say, do I or my feelings matter to you? Say, oh, absolutely. You know, your opinions matter to me. Your feelings matter to me. I matter to you. If I'm sick, I matter to you. The things that I want to do, my dreams matter to you. This is critical. If you have been making your partner feel like they or their dreams or their feelings don't matter, why would they stay? Okay? And if you've been guilty of that before, you got to fix this. Okay, and the third one that you really want to think about is, will you respond to me when I need you? Absolutely critical, guys. Will you respond to me when I need you? So, if they're sick, will you respond to them? Will you be there for them? Will you support them? If they lose their job, will you be there for them? Will you support them? If they're in pain or they're going through some difficulty, are you going to be there for them? And will you respond to them in a way that's supportive? And if you haven't, and if you don't, you've got to change. There's no other way around it. These are the kind of real long-lasting changes that are going to make a relationship work. And you have to keep these questions in the back of your mind always when you're evaluating, what can I do to be a good partner? Are you there for me? Do I and my feelings matter to you? Will you respond when I need you? For them, and you got to think about it for yourself too. So if your partner isn't there for you, or you feel like your feelings don't matter to them, and if they don't respond to you when you need them, then perhaps you should consider communicating that to them and even exploring ending the relationship and looking for one where you have some partner that will. Because you certainly don't want to be in a situation where you don't feel like your partner is going to be there for you. And of course, they wouldn't want that either. So, when you want to get my help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching. I do Skype coaching. If you got to get with me right away, I do offer emergency Skype coaching. Margaret is also available for Skype coaching. Make sure you add me on Twitter. Just search Ask Craig Kenneth. I always put interesting things on there that I can't share in the videos. Subscribe to the channel. I always forget to tell you guys that. And check out the workbooks. The Knowledge Series 1 through 5 is available now. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon. I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net.